A hole in time. It wasn't very long after he learned to travel through time and learned that he was immortal that Christopher found out there was no future. They were the same two, but not quite as level as they appeared in the photograph. Maybe it was him. Maybe he should have practiced walking more. The streets in town were narrow, more twisted, with no curbs, just open sewers. He wasn't used to a world with smells and rats. Christopher had not even considered rats. Barman intermingling with the people, and all the people not really noticing that there were rats among them. He went a little way, turned, and there, just like his photograph, a truck packed with Jews, maybe a few gypsies. Chris gawked at the scene, then had to focus his senses by glancing at the picture that he had brought. A truck filled with families, old people, young people, brothers, sisters, huddled together, unsure, sure, scared, cowardly, brave. Below the truck, the Gestapo and their shepherd dogs. The dogs were growling and barking, biting at air. They pulled at their restraints, trying to break their leashes to tear into the truck and the crowded huddle. Christopher shot one of the dogs first, then its master. He shot the guard straight through the head, dead. The man's neck waved, morbidly tilted on the ground, his helmet cradling his jaw from the cobblestone. Chris quickly dispensed with the other two dogs as their leashes fell limp. He finished off their owners, and finally he shot the last German, the one that had been giving the orders, shot him before the officer could even unholster his sidearm. People were screaming and crying as Christopher approached the back of the truck. There wouldn't be much time. He kicked at the lock, then had to shoot it open. There in the truck, the mass of people crushed closer together, closer than they had been when they were prisoners, crushed even closer, terrified by his butchery, the spectacle, the change, their freedom, their chance to change everything. "You're free," he yelled, "free." All he heard was screaming and yelling in foreign tongues. "Free," he shouted. "None of this has to happen." He saw that they wouldn't move, so he jumped down from the truck. Then flailing his gun in the air, he yelled, "You're free. Run. Take arms. Defend your families. Defend yourselves." No one came close to him, so he stepped further away. There was even more babble from those in the truck. Polish, maybe it was Yiddish. In a photograph, you can see wrong, but not language. Chris's heart was pounding through his chest. Even still, his oversight amused him just a little. German, English, Polish, Yiddish, words shouldn't matter. Chris had come for them, to free them, to change everything. All they had to do was follow. Finally, some moved from the truck and ran. Some were still frozen in place. Christopher smiled as some of his former captives stripped the dead Germans of their guns. There was a bullet. Several bullets from those who he had freed must have hit him. There must have been several bullets, but it was the first one that killed him. Back in eternity, where time had no end, where he came from, he thought, return, try again. The bullet that had pierced Chris's heart took the longest to heal, but he became whole once more. Again, he thought, go back, help these doomed people, or were they all condemned, no matter what? Maybe another time, another place, earlier in humanity, before things got so out of hand, maybe never again. As he painstakingly pondered this, he looked at the photo and saw a picture a little differently. He held it with one hand as he slipped his finger through the bullet hole in the photograph.
My first poem is out of Yellow. It's called Day. My shovel digs the earthen grave. Gone is Dave. Dave did romance another's wife, lost his life. I told him, keep away from Kate. Tete-a-tete. Hell to pay, just a friend. Dave, the crazy, lazy galoot, cared not a flying bat cahoot. Gone is Dave, lost his life, tete-a-tete. And the second one is called Pink Slip in the Window. The wipers try to scrape across the window. Flicker, flicker, just enough to get caught in the middle of the arc, victims of a late spring freeze. Out of the car you go with your good shoes on, slushing in snow and ice, rivulets of water travel to your toes. You produce your credit card from your pocket and scrape across the ice. Wipers freed sufficiently, you get back into your car. You try them once again. This time they swish back and forth and seem to say, fool, fool. Not to be outdone, you raise your middle finger in salute. The moment your boss looks out the window, your drooping fingers pop up in reverse and feign a parade wave. Your hand withers as he lingers. Fierce is his look of disapproval as he waves a pink slip from your office window. And my next one is called A Southern Taxi Hail. Arm raised high in taxi hail reminded me of second grade. I know the answer, tall and proud, no lagging fingers, no halfway ways. The cab pulls in front of me. I must be good at this. I jerk open the taxi door. A man is seated, ready to exit. I mumble, sorry, the dome light wasn't lit. He says dismissively, just let me get my bag. I wait, no longer proud. My arm still raised begins to slowly lower as I wait.